A few months ago, I made a trip to Australia with my daughter to celebrate her graduation from high school. And when we were there, we made a trip up to the north to Port Douglas to see the Great Barrier Reef, to see the rainforests. And this video is about the things we saw when we made that trip. Port Douglas is a really beautiful resort town in the north of Australia. And once we got the lay of the land in the town, we planned out our activities. We took a riverboat up into the rainforest, took a rainforest tour, hiked in the rainforest, we walked the beaches in Port Douglas, we took a nice Land Rover tour of some cool waterfalls, and of course we also took the time to get out to the reef and dive. Port Douglas reminded me of a Florida seaside town. It was beautiful, and I got a chance to take some pictures of the sunset while I was there. And I heard what were probably the loudest birds this side of Hitchcock when I was in Port Douglas. We took a cruise on the Daintree River looking for the elusive crocodile. Despite not seeing any crocs, tourists have been killed. Do yourself a favor, stay in the boat. The Daintree River is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I have to say the mangrove swamps are pretty spectacular. We finished the cruise up at the Daintree River Ferry and Cape Tribulation. We started our rainforest tour at the Walla-Gidiga Overlook, which is high in the Alexander Range, and it overlooks the rainforests and Cape Tribulation down below. The entire trip around the Daintree, we were on the lookout for cassowaries, but turns out they were even more elusive than the crocodiles. I want to give a shout out to Ian from Daintree Discovery Tours. Ian did a great job explaining that Daintree is the world's oldest continually living rainforest. Cape Tribulation sits within the Daintree National Park. It's very rainy here. They get up to 25 feet of rain a year. The Cape is a beautiful place that borders the reef, but it is remote. Only about 300 people live here. Mangroves grow all along the beaches here. They're really cool looking, and they've adapted over time to survive in the salty, brackish water. Daintree Discovery Tours maintains a classic open-air Range Rover that they use to make the journey up to Cassowary Falls. The drive out is a lot of fun. You cross rivers and farmlands, see cows, and you might even get a little wet. The drive ends at a beautiful waterfall where you can swim, you can feed the fish, the turtles, and check out the really amazing waterfall. The Range Rover tour was just a great way to close out a day at the Daintree. The trip out to the Great Barrier Reef was really awesome. We boarded the dive boat in Port Douglas at about 8:30, and then we began the cruise out to the reef. We went out about 12 or 15 miles. we received dive instructions from our American guide. We were hoping for an Aussie, but he did a great job. And then we were fitted up with all of our equipment. Let's bring this back in here. Right at this moment is when tragedy struck. My GoPro fell into the ocean. The divers got it back. It was too deep. I lost all my footage. So let's just pretend that this is what I saw. During the day, we did 3 dives from 3 different mooring locations, and we had the chance to see lots of fish. We saw eels, turtles, and even a few small sharks. The good news was I got to spend 2 weeks with my daughter on the road. We had a great time in Australia. We loved the visit to Port Douglas, seeing the reef, seeing the rainforest, and oh, by the way, she did graduate, and it was a lot of fun watching that too. Thanks for hanging in there. I know this was a long video, but there was just so much to show from the trip. If you enjoyed this, think about subscribing. I'd love to have you come along. I'd love to get some comments. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.